All right. Good morning, world. Hello and good morning. And welcome back yet again, world, to the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast. And so, yes, we are back like a shark attack, back like we left something, back like we ain't got no clothes on our back. And for the world is a better place when the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast is taking place. And so, y'all, thank you for tuning in with us this morning as we conversate about the latest sports topics that has taken place from this past week and will be upcoming this week. It is always a blast to have you all tune in and participate with us every weekend. As a reminder that every week we always like to begin our podcast by reminding our audience that the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast can be found on Facebook via the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast community page, on Instagram as the Early Morning Sports Talk pod, YouTube as the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast, as well as Apple Podcasts, as well as on Spotify as the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast, as well as our own Facebook pages via Brandon Price, Jamar Goodman, and generally our partner people to NASDAQ. Today is November 12th of 2022. We have yet again seen another fascinating week in the sports world. What we saw, y'all, Mr. Dusty Baker, Mr. Old Man, he finally got that first World Series championship as a manager. He has won so much, Teron and Jamar. This man has won a lot of baseball games, and the only thing that was missing from his resume was getting that first World Series championship, and he delivered it to the Houston Astros. So congrats to Dusty Baker. The Carolina Panthers, guess what, y'all? They remain in the running for the ultra-competitive NFC South, and after a big win, they are 3-7 and right there for first place in the NFC South. Justin Fields, y'all, he impressed last week against the Miami Dolphins. And the Brooklyn Nets, they hired Jack Vaughn and not Ime Udoka as their next head coach going forward. And they've been playing good basketball lately, Jamar. And so, introducing our guest for this morning, yes, world, he is a teenager. He is 16 years old. He loves video games. He loves cereal. He loves his mother. But most of all, y'all, he loves the Bears. And so, this is a bright young man whom not only attends Jones Commercial Prep High School, which is a very good high school in the Chicago world, but still finds time at a young age, Jamar, to give back to the Lord. And that's what I love the most. Yes, we're going to get to the lines, Anthony. Be patient, all right? We're coming, all right? Be patient, all right? And so this young man finds time to give back to the Lord at a young age, and we love this. And so introducing y'all to the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast this morning, a teenage sensation. Good morning, young fella, Mr. Teron Haynes. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good. He's like, man, that introduction was great. So yes, thank you, Teron, for joining us. We appreciate you chopping it up with us this morning on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast. And so also, with that being said, introducing my brother from another mother, my brother Wade from back in college, Mr. Jamar Goodman. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm feeling excellent today. We about to talk some Lions. I feel excellent.
All right. And so with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into it. And so on our first and foremost, Justin Fields impresses big time against the Miami Dolphins, putting up 178 rush yards, y'all, which is the most rush yards in an NFL football game in the Super Bowl era. And he also, y'all, is the first quarterback in NFL history to put up 3 or more touchdowns and rush for more than 140 yards. FYI, world, the 61-yard scramble, which only took like 3 seconds, he ran so fast, is also the longest touchdown run in NFL history for the Chicago Bears, which is, again, is not much of a surprise knowing our recent quarterback history, but it's impressive being that it's a Bears quarterback doing that. I'm pretty sure you wouldn't imagine Jay Cutler or Cade McNown or Jim Miller or our recent quarterbacks doing that. And so, yes, 61 yards, longest in Bears history. And so, guys, there's all type of history that this young man is making. And so, just curious, fellas, Teron, Jamar, with Justin Fields' recent play, which takeaways did you take away from this game? And do you like the direction this team is headed in after all the trades, et cetera, that has been made from this team lately and or recently? And so, Jamar, you can begin, and then Teron, you can follow up. What takeaways do you take from this game, and what do you What direction do you like the direction this team is headed in?
Man, it's been a breath of fresh air in the last 3 to 4 weeks. Us watching our team play, right? Even though our last win was against New England, but still, it's been fun watching our team play. I'll tell you what, I have more of excitement watching our team lose against the Dolphins than us winning against Houston early in the year. That debacle of a game. No, it lets you know that our team offensively, which we lack talent basically everywhere, can score around 30 points a game at this point now, based on, I guess, progressions being made, people getting comfortable with the system, I guess players knowing their role, and more importantly, the evolution of Justin Fields that we've seen from week 1 to now. Like, the guy looks comfortable out there. And 178 rushing yards, single game record for quarterbacks, blah, blah, blah. But it's not like, his first instinct is to just, take off and run. No, he is a pocket quarterback that just happens to have this insane athleticism. And that was one of the things that was raved about him when he was coming out. That made him so special. And that, had us scratching our heads why the Jets didn't want him or the 49ers didn't take him, let alone that the Panthers passed on him and whomever else at the time. And we just so happened, Ryan Pace happened to do one thing right in his tenure, as a parting gift, was to trade up and grab this guy. So I think we can, say with confidence here and actually, be happy saying this, that we actually have a quarterback. We have one. We have a guy. In a quarterback-driven league, you got to have a quarterback, and we have one of those guys. So, I'm excited for the rest of the season, however it unfolds. If we lose the rest of the games and they play like this, I'm excited. That means we're going to have a top-tier draft pick. If they actually win more games and flirt around with a wild card spot, I'm happy. Either way, it's a win-win scenario. I'm ready for the all season. I'm ready for the draft. I'm just ready for everything because the foundation is set. Players are buying in, progressions are being made. The trades that they made at the deadline, I feel like it was just a win-win across the board for everything. They did what they had to do. They noticed that guys that's in their prime or past their prime or big contracts on the books, you got to get rid of that, get more assets, more draft capital, free up cap space. That's what we're doing. It looks promising. Even though we lost to the Dolphins, it's the Dolphins. Dolphins are a good team. The week before we lost to the Cowboys. I mean, yeah, they beat us by about 20 points, but I mean, we scored the most points against the Cowboys. This pathetic, piece of roster on paper scored the most points against the Cowboys, and they played some other good teams. So, therefore, man, I feel good. I feel great, and I definitely gonna feel great about tomorrow's game too. So there you go.
Exactly. Yes, sir. Yes, Teron. And so, do you like the direction this team is headed in? And just what are your thoughts from this team's game from this past weekend? I see that you're on mute.
I would say yes and no.
Okay.
Because I can see this team turning into the Baltimore Ravens or the Kansas City Chiefs if we don't make the right decisions. And that might seem good. Okay, the Chiefs are a great team and the Ravens are a great team. But what you notice about those teams is they don't really have good defenses. So their offense really has to drop 30, 40 a game if they want to win. And we saw that with the Cowboys and the Dolphins.
Right.
If we didn't score, we were just going to get blown out. And usually it's our offenses who is getting us blown out because we can't score. But now that we can score, our defense can't stop anybody. So I see if we just invest too much in this offense and we let the defense just decay and go to waste, we still might not be competing for first round seed, second round seed, because we can't just outscore everybody we play because we need still some more weapons.
Right. Now look, Jamar, this is a shame. Somebody gonna post on the comments that this 16-year-old has better commentary than you, Brandon. This is really pointless. They didn't post that, but I'm just yeah. And so, Teron, you bring up a really good point. He does, Jamar. that our offense looked like they're there already, even without many weapons. And so it is something important for us to address in the offseason is the defense. And so just a second, Jamar, I just want to get to the comments. Jonathan said, good morning. Anthony Walsh, he can't wait for the Detroit Lions for some reason. Prescott JB stated, good morning, Prescott JB. My only worry about Justin Fields is that he hates Chicago. He's a Southern boy and it's cold and we're losing. We got to start buying his pizza or something to convince him to stay in Chicago.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, maybe we could take him to Beggars or somewhere. Because for me, Beggars is the best in Chicago. I don't know about you. What's the best pizza for you in Chicago?
I feel you on that. I'm a Beggars lover.
Yeah, exactly. I know this is pointless, y'all. This is an ADHD moment. Teron, what's the best pizza in Chicago for you? Is it Beggars? Is it Giordano's? Is it Illuminati's?
I have to say it's like those small unknown restaurants that's like downtown. Because
Okay.
it kind of reminds you like of New York pizza. Like you just grab a single slice, like a little big slice. Yeah, that's like the best.
Yeah, y'all. So sorry to with the ADHD moment about pizza.
No, I'm gonna have to try that. I have yet to have one of those like original places. Yeah, I've yet like it's always been those chain pizzerias. I definitely want to try one of those other ones down there whenever I get a chance.
Yeah, it's one I recommend on Michigan, bro. Michigan Avenue. It's literally right past. It's right by River North. And it's like a little small joint, and it's literally, bro, like right on the side. It's like associated with like gyros and all that stuff. And I literally went there, bro, right before I left Chicago. I'm like, I gotta go grab some pizza, and so I went and grabbed some, like, and got me like a little New York slice. So Teron, you are dead on because I got me like a little nice New York slice. And it was pretty good, man. Of course, it's Chicago.
Prescott JB
yeah,
said the best pizza in Chicago is Milano's right off of 111th Street. It tastes like kissing Rihanna on a perfect summer night under the moon while your favorite song plays in the background.
Yeah, man.
That's one way to describe it.
That is, man. So yeah. And then CC Area stated, what's the name, Teron? And so I think CC Area want to know what's the best pizza too. And so yeah. We also got Ian joining us this morning, y'all, Peoples Hernandez. And so he is connecting shortly. And so while he is connecting, y'all, there was a moment that we had on Sunday. Okay. And so this moment on Sunday involved the Detroit Lions. And so basically what happened, Teron, is I've been on a roll lately for picking the Detroit Lions to lose, which they have given me many, many moments of losing, right? And so they played the Green Bay Packers on Sunday. And so I just figured, like they've been on a losing streak, I picked them to lose after I picked them to win. But you got to admit, Jamar, in this video, I gave the Detroit Lions credit. I said that they had a really good chance to win. And I said if they were going to win a football game, this was going to be the week. I said that, right? But it all around like 2 minutes later, I just woke up to my senses. And I'm like, hey, Green Bay, you better not lose this game. Green Bay, if you watch the game, they had about 3 opportunities in the red zone to win the game, even in the last drive to run, and they still blew it 15-9 to the Detroit Lions. And so as a result, Jamar and Ian has nothing else to do with their life. They want to show this video to the world so that people can see the pick. And so let's go ahead and let's see if we can play this video. Yeah, so my heart says the Lions. My heart says the Lions in this one. Boy, this is a hard one. It's really hard for me, Jamar, because I know I've been on the road lately of picking the Lions and they never disappoint me. They never do. But the Packers got a chance to rebound here tomorrow. But Detroit is highly explosive. Guys, I'm hopping off the fence this week.
No.
I am hopping off the fence this week. Detroit is better than Green Bay, actually. When you really look at it, they're better than Green Bay. This season they are. They just don't know. It's something going on with their damn brains, Shamar. Like, I don't know what's going on with their psyche or something. They just be like mentally just checking out when they supposed to win these games. For real. The Lions should be a lot better than 1-6. At least according to how they play on the field. The better team, I think, really is the Lions. I'm gonna go with the Detroit Lions on this one, man.
Get the bleep out of here.
He picked the Lions. He never picks the Lions. That just tells me that they're gonna get blew out by 50 this week.
And then he gonna come on here next Saturday. We're gonna lead with the Lions getting blown out. That's gonna be the lead right there.
Hey, fellas, let's put that out there, man. Let's put that out there. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I just feel like if the Lions had a chance, y'all, it would be this week because the Packers are really a bad football team. They really are. If the Lions, this is your chance. We're putting this out in the early morning sports. This is your chance tomorrow to win a game. Go out and take care of the Packers. They are reeling right now. They are reeling. Take care of them. We'll see what the Lions do. But this is Jamar. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. Jamar, hell no. Scratch the Lions. Look at the damn Packers.
Oh, no. Come on, Brandon.
I don't know what the hell I was just thinking. I don't got all emotional and stuff like.
It's Derek Campbell. He got you hooked.
You know what? Either way,
God.
either way, if the Lions win or lose, we starting off next week with the Lions and the Packers game. We are. Either way, it's a I told you so, or he's about to rip us a new one. It's either one or the other.
Got to.
Well.
Hey man, you guys gotta at least you guys gotta at least understand where I was at that moment based off of the recent history, right? And the Detroit Lions, etc. Like, and y'all gotta admit the Packers blew the game. Did y'all see in the red zone where the man was wide open, a big offensive lineman, and Aaron Rodgers threw a pick at the red line at the goal line? Like, I had really good reason to believe, but yes. And so, just curious, fellas, with the Detroit Lions and with the Chicago Bears, we'll make the picks later, but I don't know. I want to ask the world, why are you, Jamar, and Ian so optimistic on the Detroit Lions, even though they're 2-6 now? What are your reasons for believing in this team? Is it because of home box office? Home box office, y'all, is HBO, and it's a show called Hard Knocks. And Jamar and they're big fans, and they watch it every week, Teron, every week. And they love home box office. They watch it all the time, HBO. And so, is it because of HBO? Is it because of Anthony Walsh? Like, what are the reasons you guys are so optimistic on the Detroit Lions? Tell the world why.
Look, so I mean, yeah, did I definitely have optimism going into this year for them? Sure. Did Hard Knocks help, put a soft spot in my heart for the Lions this season? It sure did. Did Dan Campbell get me motivated and have me fight with grit this year? You're darn right. But after 8 games, we realized, the Lions are a tale of two teams. The first team that we saw for the first 4 weeks, they led the league in scoring. They just couldn't stop anybody. They just couldn't. They beat themselves. And then, after the New England game, it just, really fell off the ropes when they got goose egg. But, in all honesty, they still play hard. And I'm pretty sure the reason why me and Ian picked them last week was the fact that Lions still play hard, but at the same time, those Packers, those whackers, whatever you want to call them, government cheese guys, they're just playing lousy. So that was kind of like a perfect storm on that one.
Right. And just really quickly, bro, before we progress.
I mean, Jamar pretty much summed it up. They was on the road. The Whackers. They ain't been playing that great lately. Aaron Rodgers. He looks real frustrated. He took all that money and they ain't got nobody to throw the ball to, no protection, and he looks real frustrated. As a Bears fan, I love it every week.
And so
yeah,
every week, y'all. Go ahead, Ed, my bad.
Like Jamar said, it's just a perfect storm. Detroit, they have a real talented team. They've had a talented team probably for the last probably 5 years. On paper, they just kind of got to call them the can't get right. They just, there's always something with the Lions. When they put up 42 points one game, they find a way to steal them. They put up defense, play great, and the offense play like crap. Offense come out there and play, and it's just always something. Or they get to the red zone, somebody fumbles the ball. It's just always something with the line. I personally think they're cursed. I feel like no matter they could have Tom Brady, Randy Moss, a Pro Bowl team, and just still lose. At this point, that's what I just think about the Detroit Lions right now.
It's crazy because they have playmakers. They do.
Yeah.
They have playmakers on almost every level. They have playmakers. So it's just a matter of is mental. It's just more so just get it done. That's what it is when it comes down to.
Right. And so, fellas, we are going to get into that pick later, y'all. So please stay tuned with us within the next hour as we get to our conclusion of the show, of course, but we'll get into our NFL picks not too long from now, which will, of course, include Detroit and Chicago. And so, fellas, let's now move on to NFL reactions and overreactions. And so how this will work, Teron, is we'll first have Jamar go, then Ian, and then you'll follow up. And so there'll be a string of questions that will be based on what we've seen thus far in this NFL season, which, of course, gives us news every week. It's just amazing how it works. And so let's begin, fellas. And so, Jamar, Ian, Teron, is it an overreaction to think that with the on-ball talent that the Arizona Cardinals have, with DeAndre Hopkins, with Kyler Murray, with Mr. Take the Head Off Your Defense, Robbie Anderson, with Zach Ertz, like, is it an overreaction to think that the Arizona Cardinals are a disappointment at sitting at 3-6 this season? You guys' thoughts? Is it an overreaction to think that this team is a disappointment? Is there a valid reason for them being 3-6?
I mean, for me, it's not an overreaction because I told y'all before the season started this team was not going to be well. I between the DeAndre Hopkins suspension, which we know that this offense does not function well without him, plus the tough schedule, what they have, I mean, this is right on par for me, buddy. It really is. Let's see. They got the Rams tomorrow. That can go 50-50. You got the 49ers. You got the Chargers. You got New England. You got Let's Ride Broncos. I mean, that's a whole nother story. You still got Tom Brady and the Bucs you got to face. The Falcons. I mean, you don't know which team you're going to get. Then you got the Niners again. Like, this team is not making the playoffs. This is not overreaction to me. This team, overall, trash. So, sorry.
This is another home office box too. I was just watching the other day. It may be late for work, but no, it's not an overreaction. I love the Cardinals, roster on paper. Like I said, they got Robbie Anderson. They just got Robbie Anderson a couple weeks ago, but DeAndre Hopkins, Kyler Murray, James Conner, J.J. Watt, Buda Baker. They got playmakers all over the field. Isaiah Simmons. Not an overreaction. This team should be number one in the division, probably, for sure. I know the Rams, they probably having a Super Bowl hangover.
Right now, Seattle number one.
To me, honestly, I think I think it's the coaching. I think it's the coaching. I know DeAndre Hopkins was out probably like 6, 7, maybe like 8 weeks. But I mean, he can't play defense either. I think it's coaching. I think Kingsbury, I think he might be out of there. If not this off season, maybe next year if he stays next year. But I think it comes down to coaching. I don't think that offense is fit for this the NFL. Sort of like a college offense. Man, they got weapons everywhere. It's like there's no excuse. And they got plenty of talent on defense. D-line, linebackers, one of the best safeties in the game. Like one of the best safeties players in the NFL right now, Budda Baker. So there's no excuse. I think it comes down to me. The talent is there. I just think it comes down to coaching. I think it comes down to coaching.
Right. Yeah, Teron. And so, is it an overreaction to think that the Arizona Cardinals at 3-6 are disappointing?
I would say no, because if you look at the schedule, they only beat 3 teams, which is the Panthers, the Saints, and the Raiders. And we know all 3 of them teams are not good teams. The Panthers are like one of the teams who are trying to get like the first overall pick. The Saints just have all types of problems, and the Raiders, that's a story for another day. They're also having like head coach to choose. So I think if you look at their schedule, like you might say, oh, maybe they can beat these teams, maybe they can win over Seattle. But that's before Geno Smith was starting to have an MVP season. So like, of course, nobody's seen Seattle actually being a contender this year. Everyone thought, oh, they're in a rebuild, they're going to trade their players, but Seattle's looking good. The Rams, who are falling off, I mean, they still have a Super Bowl winning roster. Like, they're not as good as they were last year, but like, they're still a Super Bowl winning team. So I think it's not an overreaction. They just have some issues they need to work out. Of course, like their coaches, I don't know what he's doing. And I think it's also Kyler Murray. I think he's in his own head and like he's holding himself back because we've seen him like go off and drop like 40, just outscore teams. But we also see him like get skunked and like he's just playing horrible.
This is facts, Teron. This is damn sure good facts. This is all very true. Kyler Murray does appear at times to be in his own head. I swear I watched the game, and I think that often to myself. That is factual, young man, for real. Yes. And so I think you all agree that it is not an overreaction for the Arizona Cardinals being at 3-6. Another disappointment to Ron, Jamar, and is the Las Vegas Raiders. And so, is it an overreaction to think that the Las Vegas Raiders will fire Josh McDaniels before season's end if this team continues to play this way because of all the expectations this team had? Jamar?
Look, the consensus is this team is very, very underachieving and very underwhelming. With this particular question, I want to say it's a slight overreaction only from the standpoint that it's his first year and the only coach that I can see, you have to be like Urban Meyer terrible to be let go like that soon. That's and I can't see him being that terrible. I mean, I know for a fact he's a trash head coach. We known this before, but they wanted to, roll the dice again. Like maybe he learned from his ways. Maybe he can lead a group of men. Maybe he can actually turn this thing around. No, he's not that guy. I mean, heck, when you got former players talking about the only way they can win is for him cheating, that should let you know already. But hey, Raiders is that organization that's also part of that can't get right. So who knows? But nevertheless, like I picked this team to actually do some things this year, and every time that they lose, it just makes me more and more upset at them all the way around. You could blame some on Derek Carr, but I feel like majority of this is Josh McDaniels. It's just all the way bad for me.
Right. Deshaun Reed Sr. stated that Derek Carr is booty cheeks, which is not a good thing. And so that's how he stated that Derek Carr's playing as the quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders. And so, Ian, I'm very interested in your stance here, bro, because you've kind of been stating that Josh McDaniels is better as being a coordinator. He's not he's not good as a head coach. And so I'm just curious, bro. What's your thoughts on this?
Slight overreaction only because, like Jamar said, it's his first year, and they got to give him time to know. You got to give him time to work his magic and make the team how he wants to make it. Give him his kind of sort of direction. But I don't think, like I always say, I don't think he's a good head coach. Maybe offensive coordinator, but I don't think he's a good head coach. From what I've heard, maybe he's just not a good. Maybe his system, or he's just not a good leader of men. I would guess. He's probably like a brainiac as far as the X's and O's go, but as far as like leading the whole team and being a leader of men and trying to use the same methods that Bill Belichick had, I don't think that works for him. I only think it works for Bill Belichick actually, and I mean, it might not be working for him that well. Might not be working for him that well either right now, but that's a whole nother story. But you got to give him a chance, to put his impact on the team fully. But I think Derek Carr is a problem too. I think Derek Carr probably needs a new scenery. I think that's a problem too. It's a lot. I honestly think them moving to Las Vegas was a bad idea too. But that's a whole nother story for another day too.
A lot of distractions in Vegas. I think we all can agree on that.
Yeah,
Vegas.
for sure.
Yeah, man. And so, yes, just want to address these comments, Teron, before you speak. Prescott JB stated Luka Doncic ain't nothing more than an assistant principal with handles. CC.
What?
Not an assistant principal though.
Bruh.
CC ever stated Prescott JB and Anthony Walsh are hilarious. Prescott JB also stated Aaron Rodgers doesn't care about football anymore. He's going to run for president. And then also Prescott JB's Kyler has to be better than he is. It's sad. Check this out, Ian. Our boy from the class 09, Keith Jowell Jr. He stated the guys, good morning, Keith. If you here, bro, good to speak with you. And he got that yellow and orange. And so, he talking about that MP love. And then Anthony Walsh stated they should have let Kyler do his thing and play video games instead of game planning. So I definitely remember, just listening to NFL radio, Ian and Jamar, and just listening to it while you drive your car and stuff, and them talking about Kyler Murray being a big video game person. So maybe this is part of the issue. I don't know, man. But yes. And so Teron, just curious, with the Las Vegas Raiders, is it an overreaction to think that them letting go of Josh McDaniels, this the overreaction to think that they should fire him before the end of the season if this team with all this talent, at least on paper, continues to lose and disappoint?
Yeah, I think they should definitely let him go. If you look at his season with Denver, he had a losing season with them. He was overall 11 and 17. So of course, you see him go to your division rival and he doesn't do good. And then you allow him to take places. Now you're a head coach and now he's also not looking good. I think it's a pattern there. And I think he was good as an offensive coordinator, but not everyone's made out to be a head coach. Just because you can call plays as an offensive coordinator doesn't mean you should take over this organization. And before the season started, before the season started, everybody was
just listening, man.
They was they got Devontae Adams, Derek Carr, they're reunited, and everybody just thought they were just gonna be this team. And I was just I don't know. I'm just, for some reason, I'm not seeing that they're going to be top 3 teams, top 5 teams. But I think if they can get rid of him quick enough, because they still have a shot at making a playoff, because the Chargers are kind of not where they want to be, and the Broncos are just, I don't even know. So if they can turn it around and start winning some games, they can maybe sneak in as a 7 seed or a 6, because the other divisions besides I would say the East, everyone's not like no one's like clearly winning on the AFC. Like as the North or like the Eagles are undefeated. Like they still have a chance. They just need to like turn it around now.
Right. And so, yeah, the AFC North, yeah, man, the Bengals are a disappointment. The Steelers, I mean, we can go through all the teams. The AFC East right now, like you say, is competitive. The Patriots are last place, and they're 5-4 in that division. And so the East is very interesting. We're about to talk about the AFC East very shortly, my brother Jamar. So with that being said, y'all, let's get into the AFC East. Is it an overreaction, y'all, to think that the Buffalo Bills, Teron, and that's a very good point you bring up the AFC East, that the so talented Buffalo Bills could very well end up in a wild card position based off of the competition in this division? Let's keep in mind, the Bills have lost 2 division games, y'all, to the Dolphins and to the Jets. Yep. With a 6-3 Dolphins team, a 6-3 New York Jets team, as well as an above 500, 5-4 Patriots team. Is it possible, Jamar, that this team could end up in a wild card position? I'm gonna pull up the schedule too for y'all.
So the only reason, and I'll say this again, the only reason why I feel like this is possible is the fact that Josh Allen is dealing with a UCL injury here on his elbow. That is the only reason for me to, give the other teams in the division the benefit of the doubt that they could actually win the crown this year. And it's no slight. I'm not even like giving any type of disrespect at all towards the Dolphins or the Jets or New England. Like those teams are playing phenomenal, like completely phenomenal. Tua's a starter, 6-0 this year. The Jets are continuously collecting receipts, and I love it. I love it. But as soon as that schedule, loads up,
you see it?
I see it, but I see it in like it looks very pixelated.
Okay. Can you see the Minnesota Vikings there?
Yeah. Oh, there. All right, we good. It's clear.
Minnesota Vikings, Jamar. Next, tomorrow, Cleveland, Detroit, New England, New York, Miami, Bears, and Cincinnati, and then also New England. Yeah, they kind of got it rough, man. They division is tough, and then they got the Vikings on top of that.
Yeah. I mean, hey, but this is a team that we've all had in our top 5 this whole year. This is a team that's a Super Bowl perennial caliber team. I've been on record saying this is the best team in the league. I mean, but for me, it just comes down to that injury to Josh Allen and how he can manage that injury for the rest of the year. I think he can play through it, but once again, it's just like how his tolerance, what he can do with it. It all comes down to that, because that team is still lethal. They're not perfect, but that team is still lethal. So that injury is the only possibility for me that somebody else can overtake the division. So
right. Yeah. And your thoughts, bro?
Man, it's possible. I mean, that division, it's probably, besides the NFC East, they're probably the best division in football right now. That division is playing some of the best football in the NFL right now. Like you said, you got the Dolphins, at 6-3.
Yep.
Jets. Yep. Jets just beat them last week. I'm a little nervous about Josh Allen with the UCL injury, because that's my fantasy quarterback, and he guaranteed me about 20 points every week. I'm real nervous about that. But I mean, the Bills are top 3 football team in the NFL. Period. As long as Josh Allen, stays healthy and their main starters stay healthy. I know they lost. They lose Michael Hyde for the year on defense, so that was a pretty tough loss. They got Tre'Davious White back, so that's pretty good. But as long as they pretty much stay healthy, they should be fine. I think they should somehow win that division, but if they miss Josh Allen for a couple of games or a game or two, it could get tricky. You can see Miami. You can see Miami win a division. If Miami, keep playing where they're playing, or hell, even the Jets. So, I mean, that's a tough division. Yeah. Arguably the second or best division in football right now.
Actual, yes. Yep. Teron, what are your thoughts? Do you think that the Buffalo Bills can end up in a wild card position based off of the schedule that you see coming forward for this team?
I say definitely. Yes, it's definitely possible. Because if you look at Josh Allen's play, I would say 2 weeks ago when he played the Packers, like he was good the first half. And then the second half, he just started throwing interceptions left and right. He was like, what are you doing? And then against the Jets, like people still aren't giving the Jets the credit they deserve. Like everyone thought they were going to be horrible. So now that they're actually playing decent football, people still haven't like caught on that the Jets are actually something. So when people look, say, oh, the Bills lost to the Jets. What are the Bills doing? It's not like they're not giving Jets anything. Like the Jets defense is really good. They have Sauce Gardner. Like he's pretty good at taking out your number one receiver. Like, and then like their offense is doing what it needs to do. Like it's not nothing spectacular by any means, but they're getting the job done. So I think like if Buffalo doesn't, pick up the slack, they could like very well be third in this division, maybe fourth. I still see them like being over the Patriots, but now the Dolphins and the Jets have a tiebreak over them. Like they already beat them. So if they continue like drop games, especially against a supported game in Minnesota, because Minnesota's a pretty good team right now. So if Josh Allen doesn't play, then they lose again. Now the Jets and the Vikings are going to be ahead of them in this division.
Right, the Jets and the Dolphins. Yeah. Yes, this is factual. This is factual, nephew. And to mention the tiebreaker, that's very important. And me and Jamar and Ian are looking and saying, yes, they got the tiebreaker over the Bills. And so if things were to progress as is, then yeah, the Bills could very well end up somewhere in third place. And just be a team that should be afraid to play in the playoffs in general, regardless of that seed.
Yep.
And so the only question here on the Early Money Sports Talk podcast, y'all, is if this team can end up as a wild card team. We didn't say if this team could go to the Super Bowl. We all still believe and know that this team is very capable. And so regardless of the fact, if the Bills get in the dance, you're nervous, especially if Josh Allen's on the field. But the question was specifically about the wild card positioning. And so, yes, right now they're in a very tough division. And they are very battle tested because it's no lack zone for the Buffalo Bills this season. Every game has been pretty much, they had a few of weak teams, but other than that, they've had some pretty tough teams they've had to play this year. All right, y'all. And lastly, is it an overreaction, y'all, Jamar, to think that after the unexpected hire of Jeff Saturday, that Jim Irsay is next going to bring Dan Orlovsky from ESPN out of retirement to be this team's starting quarterback next season, have Stephen A. Smith calling exotic plays on offense, and have Uncle Shay Shay, a.k.a. Shannon Sharpe of Undisputed, line up at tight end? Is this very well possible after the recent hire of Jeff Saturday?
All right, when you mentioned Stephen A. Smith calling plays, exotic plays, at that point you like, you lost me on that one.
Lost you.
Yeah. See, I can see Uncle Shay Shay coming out there, Hall of Fame tight end, doing work. Maybe start over Mo Alley Cox. I can see Dan Orlovsky. I'm pretty sure he learned from him stepping out in the back of the end zone years ago. I'm pretty sure he could outperform
Right.
Sam Ehlinger right now. I mean, this team is abysmal. Sheesh. Sorry, Colts fans. I know you might be watching, but I mean, it is what it is right now. Hey, you get a top 5 pick. You get one of those premier quarterbacks. It's a quarterback draft this year. I'm just saying. But in all seriousness, I think just for purposes here, I think Jeff Saturday is probably a good hire based on, his familiarity. I can't even say the word right now. Based on his
Familiarity.
yes, with the Colts, and it's him maybe more so probably just motivating the guys, getting them riled up. I don't know who's calling plays. It might be Matt Ryan at this point. I don't know, but nevertheless, no, I mean, for what it's worth, I mean, let's see what they got.
Yeah. And it's not Matt Ryan. I can't remember the guy's name, Ian, but it's some guy that's with the organization. He's like about 20-something years old, a kid basically. And they got him calling plays for the organization. Matt Ryan was mentioned as a possibility, but yeah, definitely. And so in Tehran, this was just a joke of a question. It really wasn't a real question. It's just, we want to highlight that Jim Irsay is he's very capable of doing the unexpected. This man has brought in grandpa quarterbacks for the last few seasons to start for this team. So yeah, the Indianapolis Colts, man, they are definitely newsworthy for sure. And Jim Irsay know how to keep the Colts in the news for sure. He like, we in Indianapolis, damn it, but we gonna be international with this news. Everywhere. So yeah, man. The Indianapolis Colts, we'll see how this team does, but we rooting for Jeff Saturday on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast. So we'll see how things go. And so, all right, fellas, let's now progress. And so let's do our top 5 NFL teams. And so, Jamar, you start us off and you follow up. Tehran, you follow up. Give us your top 5 NFL teams, and let's go quickly on this segment. Who's your top 5 NFL teams?
All right. As you know, my number one team that I've had every week is definitely not number one anymore.
Right.
For obvious reasons. All right. So at number 5, I have the Buffalo Bills. I had the Buffalo Bills at number 5. Yeah, they lost. I mean, like Tehran said, Josh Allen, turnovers, red zone. I feel like that's basically been their Achilles heel here. If they was to like have a team stay in the game, is because it's self-inflicted. Turnovers, red zone, just untimely turnovers in general. The Jets is a team that will not beat themselves anymore. The Jets will, keep our Disney quarterback, Zach Wilson, under control here. Make sure he does not throw the ball a ton of times. Make sure that they grind it out. That's what they do, and that's how they end up beating the Bills. So, nevertheless, Bills still a perennial team to me. But right now, they're number 5. Number 4, I guess it's Minnesota. I guess. I mean, I still feel like they're probably one of the weakest 7-1 teams in NFL history, but nevertheless, they getting the job done. So I'm gonna just, speak nice things about them. Dalvin Cook is a nice player. Justin Jefferson is a super nice player. Empty calories, still empty calories, but hey, I'll leave it at that. Oh man, that's empty calories, and I'm gonna just maybe got like about 10 calories right now. I don't know. I'm gonna leave him alone.
Right.
All right. Number 3, maybe a surprise. I don't know. I mean, I kind of spoke to them about 2 teams ago. That's the New York Jets to me. The Jets right now are just playing really good football. They're not, like I said, they're not beating themselves. I really thought like the wheels will fall off without Breece Hall, but I mean, they're still finding ways to get it done. Offensively, they're doing enough. Defense is ferocious. But right now I got them number 3. I mean, it is what it is. Number 2, I got the Kansas City Chiefs. Hey man, Patrick Mahomes is your league MVP right now. What he did against the Tennessee Titans, like I literally went to bed at halftime. I'm like, maybe they might pull it off, maybe not. I mean, Tennessee's still playing somewhat decent, surprisingly enough. But I wake up in the morning and I saw the highlights. Mahomes did it. It's crazy. We take Tyreek Hill off the team, and we see this man progress even more as a quarterback. How scary is that?
Right.
Like, that is nuts. And so what he did to win that game, what he is doing right now, he is your league MVP right now. And then number one, I guess I'm joining the bandwagon here with you all at number one with the Philadelphia Eagles, because they are getting it done. Look, man, I know their schedule is easier compared to others on this list. However, just because you have an easy schedule doesn't mean you're overachieving or anything like that. This team has proven that it is a good football team on both sides of the ball. Jalen Hurts, is in the MVP conversation by far. AJ Brown, when healthy, is and I deem him a monster amongst men. I have a movement there, and he's one of them. So yeah, my top five is Eagles, Chiefs, Jets, Vikings, Bills. There you go.
And top five, bro.
Man, this number 5 spot, I'm in between two teams, but I'm gonna give this one team the nod. So I'm gonna give it to the Dolphins. I'm gonna give it to the Dolphins. I got the Dolphins at 5.
Yeah.
Got the Vikings at 4. Man, surprisingly, I had to knock them down a slot. I got the Bills at 3. Number 2, I got the Chiefs. Chiefs quietly under the radar, just getting the job done, like you say. Patrick Mahomes, he's looking like MVP right now. I would say him and the quarterback for the number 1 team. And still number 1 team, it'll be Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah. Yep. Teron, you got a top 5 us. You got top 5 NFL teams for us?
Yeah, I got a top 5. I'm gonna say a team that I don't think nobody has even mixed yet. I'm gonna go with the Dallas Cowboys. Like,
yeah. I can see Dallas being in the top 5.
Like, they have one of the best defense in the league. Nobody really talks about it. Like, besides the Bears, nobody has really like dropped like a bunch of points on them. They've been able to hold people back with that defense. And like that's why Cooper Rush got so much love, because people thought, oh, it's Cooper Rush. He's amazing. But it's really that defense who like gave him a chance to actually do anything. So I think I got Dallas at 5. At 4, I'm gonna go with the Buffalo Bills. I still think like they're a good team. I just think, I don't know, like they're starting to waver a little bit. Like they're not as strong as they were at the start of the season. At 3, I'm gonna go with Miami Dolphins. Like Tyreek Hill is definitely the best receiver in the league right now. Like he's doing major numbers. Jalen Waddle was a great number 2. He complements Tyreek very well. Tua's playing like really good, and like their defense is not as good as it could be, but like it's holding people back. Like it's getting the job done. At 3, I have at 3. I'm gonna go. Wait, I'm at 3 already, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you at 2.
All right. Number 2, I got the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I like the Eagles. I'm not saying they're frauds. I just want to see them like beat a great team, but like beat a bad team greatly. Like they played the Texans in like the first half. It was a close game. And I'm thinking, if you're the best team in the league playing the worst team in the league, you should be able to just blow this team out. But they kept it close until like the last 2 quarters. And they finally like did enough to, beat them. So while I'm not saying they're bad or like they're frauds, I just want them to convince me. Like, I want them to prove it. And at number 1, I got the team you cannot bet against. I got the Kansas City Chiefs. Like Patrick Mahomes having an MVP season. Like every time you count out the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes does something just before seen, and like he gets the win. So I feel like if the Eagles played the Chiefs, he would just prove why like he's better than any other quarterback in the league
right
now. No argument here.
What y'all think about that top 5? Solid.
Yeah, no argument here.
Very, very solid, man. Yeah. Yeah, man. I did not pick Dallas. But they definitely deserve some love in that top 5. I'm still stuck in this AFC East because these teams get a lot of coverage, and they get a lot of buckets, let's say points. So I got Miami at 5, Buffalo at 4, Vikings at 3, Kansas City at 2. And I still got Philly nephew because they're undefeated at 8-0. And so, yes, in Philly, I just think they're a very, very well balanced team. But that would be interesting, man. I would love to just see Philly and KC go at it. But yeah, 2 very good football teams for sure. So we cannot argue with that top 5. And so with that being said, fellas, let's just quickly, just want to ask any of you guys can chime in. Dusty Baker and the Houston Astros captured the World Series championship this past weekend, y'all. And this is Dusty Baker's first reign. This is the Houston Astros second World Series championship. And so just want to give you all an opportunity, guys, to face or to just give us your thoughts or any congrats or anything to Dusty Baker. So Jamar and Teron, you guys feel free to chime in.
I mean, just, congrats on a Hall of Fame, manager career. And that just basically solidified it. It's basically, I think you mentioned it last week, like the Andy Reid effect, just playing all those years, just, got to get that one. And it was, wonderful seeing Andy do it. So this was definitely the silver lining for me in this series. I had the Phillies winning, but if they lost, then it's like definitely happy for Dusty. So congrats, man.
And Teron, any thoughts, anything?
Same here. Like we stated last week, we did have the Phillies winning, but seeing Dusty win, that was big. He used to manage the Cubs back in the day, and we were this close, to get to getting back, to get into the World Series. But it was a joy, seeing him finally get over the hump. You love to see coaches like that win, like you stated, Andy Reid, and it's a couple of other coaches even in the NBA. But finally seeing him get over that hump was pretty dope. And being that he's one of the few black men to win a World Series, that was pretty dope to see him get over.
That was pretty dope to see. It was, bro. It was. Yeah. Teron, just any thoughts on Dusty Baker winning his first World Series championship, or just the Houston Astros winning the World Series?
I don't really get into like baseball like that, but I have been noticing what he's been doing, like, what he's been like doing for this team. And like, when you look at their record, they had a really dominant season, like 104 wins. He came in, he got the culture right, he got the team behind him, and like he's just a great overall leader. He has a well-deserved championship win.
Yeah, definitely. And so congrats to Dusty Baker and the Houston Astros on capturing the World Series championship. All right, fellas, just an FYI. This is just an FYI, world. College football notable games for this week. And so there are no picks required. And so number 4, TCU is at number 18, Texas today. Number 6, Oregon is at 25, Washington. And so since 6, Oregon has lost that first game earlier in the season, they have been dominant since then. Number 9, Alabama. Alabama has had 2 tough losses, y'all. Last weekend at LSU and then first to Tennessee. They are now number 9 and they are at number 11, Ole Miss. Number 17, Tulane at 22, UCF. 20, Notre Dame. I think Jamar and pointed out last week that Clemson was not all that impressive, and they went to Notre Dame and got stumped. So Notre Dame is ranked number 20 and playing the Navy Golden Knights. 21, Illinois, y'all. They play Purdue. And so Illinois is playing pretty decent football, and they playing Purdue today. And then we always like to highlight the HBCUs here on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast. And so Jackson State University today will take place against Alabama A&M. And so with that being said, fellas, let's now progress to the nitty-gritty of our podcast, and that's NFL picks. So let's get into our NFL Week 10 picks. All right. So Jamar, you start us off, bro. What the fudge? Okay, here we go. And so tomorrow, Seattle at Tampa. And just an FYI, Jamar, fellas, this game takes place in Germany. And so that's why y'all see that weird start time at 8:30. So just curious, Jamar, who you got for this one, bro? Seattle or Tampa?
Woo.
Tough pick.
Woo. It is. I mean, if you ask me at the beginning of the season,
Right.
man. Woo, woo, woo. It's like,
Want to count out Tom Brady, Jamar, at this point?
Yeah,
I feel like,
it's like I'm sitting here like asking myself real time, am I about to pick against Tom Brady, who's about to going overseas? I'm pretty sure he wants to have a good outing, going over there. Like, am I about to? Yeah, I'm about to pick against the Bucks. They're just not playing good football. It's just not. Like, remember we talked about it about a month ago. Like, this team, their ceiling isn't as high anymore. Offensive line, defense has been terrible. It's like they're just doing good enough to get by. Offense looks out of sync a little bit. They can't even run the football like they used to. So there's no balance. And I'll just say this because I say it every week. They wrote me off. Getting right back. Taking Geno.
Yeah. Yep. And bro, who you got?
Bucks are playing terrible. They throw the ball 60 times a game with a 50-year-old quarterback. I got the Seahawks.
Enough said.
Right. Teron, who you got, bro? Seattle, Tampa.
This game, I believe, could go either way. Like, while Tom Brady's not playing as good as he usually does, Bucks still have a pretty good defense. Like, they're able to hold teams to like low scoring games. But I just think, I don't know. Like, I love Tom Brady, but I don't think he gets it done. I think Seattle gets to win.
Yeah. Wow. For me, y'all, I'm gonna go with TB in this one, man. I'm gonna go with Tom Brady. I think he's ticked off from this divorce, y'all. And Seattle, they are a great, well-balanced team. But I think Tom Brady got something going here. It's really hard for me to bet against guys like Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes. I'm gonna go with Tampa. Minnesota at Buffalo. It's a big game right here. Two pretty good teams. Yeah. Jamar, who you got for this one, bro?
Man, and just real quick before I make my pick, just to point out, like, the trade that these two teams had about 3 years ago,
Yeah.
it's probably one of the rare times that you see both teams actually come out on like winners.
Yeah.
One of the rare times. With that being said, it's like I want to pick the Bills so bad. I do, but it's a Josh Allen thing because he's heavily questionable tomorrow. They say they're taking it hour by hour. So
yeah.
I'm gonna ride with him. I don't have the warm and fuzzies inside at all, man. I don't. Bills Mafia.
And who you got, bro?
It's a tough pick because I don't know if my boy Josh Allen's playing or not. I hope so. I'm gonna go Vikings though. I'm gonna go Vikings. Dalvin Cook have a big day.
Yep. All right. Teron, who you got? Buffalo, Minnesota.
I still don't know. It depends on if Josh Allen plays because, of course, the plays that he makes, like, no backup quarterback is doing that. Like, he's the heart of this team. So if they don't have Josh, I would go to Vikings. And if the Vikings win this game, I think they win the division. I think if they get this win, the division is theirs.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Vikings.
Yeah. Yep. I'm with you, Teron. In regards to the division, we kind of pointed this out on the podcast that this division could be over with early. very early. But how the Packers are playing, the position that the Bears and the Lions are in, Teron, you're right, man. This division could be over with in the next few weeks. This could be over with week 14, 13, maybe even earlier. Because the way these other three teams are playing in this division, Minnesota, and then just them picking up TJ Hawkinson, like they are kind of coasting right now. And so for this one, y'all, I'm gonna go Bills Mafia if Josh Allen plays. If Josh Allen doesn't play, I'm gonna go in Minnesota. So Jamar, maybe this is a conditional for everybody, but if Josh Allen plays for me, I got Buffalo. I think Buffalo gets it done and they send a message that we.
So I'll tell you what, I won't post the picks until 10:30 tomorrow because we'll know 90 minutes before kickoff.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. I think Buffalo still has something to prove to everybody. Like, have y'all forgot about us? Okay. All right, y'all. This is a big one. The Detroit Lions go up against our Chicago Bears tomorrow. And so, just curious, Jamar and are y'all rolling with the home box office or what? So, Jamar, who you got for this one, bro?
Let me get back to my sign. Hey guys, because every week Ian points out that it's hard for me to not pick my team because this is being displayed back here. I got my little Bears pillow here too today. Just all right. So look, yeah, I understand our defense can't really stop anybody, even though we had 2 opportunities last week to win the game because they actually made stops when they counted. But the Lions can't stop anything. I guess except Aaron Rodgers. Other than that, they can't stop. They can't stop a stop sign. They're trash. Their defense trash. I like our team. I'm complete bias off. I feel like we've been playing as a better football team in the last 3 weeks compared to a lot of other teams. So I'm taking our team with confidence. I think our boys get it done.
And your thoughts?
Bear down.
Teron, your thoughts? So you got?
I'd say it depends on what Lion team we get. Because we saw early in the season, Lions were like number 1 scoring offense. And now with our defense starting to fluctuate, like this could really be like a shootout. Like a lot of people aren't like, oh, Bears. I do think the Bears are going to win though, because the Lions defense is like, it's the worst defense in the league. And I think Justin Fields, now he's getting more comfortable. The play calling is getting better. And like now we have Chase Claypool. He's fully learned that playbook by now. So I think, it's just we're going to overwhelm that defense, and our defense is going to be able to slow that offense just enough so we get the win.
Yeah. I look at this game and I kind of feel when I just look at it, I look at it in confidence. Like the Bears, like how I was talking about Detroit and Green Bay last week, the Bears should win this game. They have all the tools to win this game tomorrow. Detroit's defense is god awful. Man, they just give up a lot of points. And Justin Fields, the way he's playing, man, it's just on Justin Fields. If Justin Fields do what he has to do tomorrow, the Bears should take care of business. I'm gonna roll with the Bears.
Jack, real quick, just want to point this out because I forgot to talk about it earlier when we were talking about it. So basically, stuff that I've been hearing, as far as fans and radio and other stuff, is like the only way that, because we've been feeling good as a fan base for the last 3 weeks, and rightfully so.
Right.
The only way that that narrative changes is if our offense just lays a dud, like complete dud.
Yeah.
Because this game is projected to be a shootout for obvious reasons, because nobody can stop anybody. But basically, as long as the offense continue to do what it's doing, defense, I feel like it's just more so a foundation thing, and lack of playmakers in the front 7 per se. Yeah. But overall, man, like as long as they don't come out with a dud, like I'll probably be happy either way. But I think our team should win, like you said, Brandon. Keyword, should win.
Yep. Just want to address the comments really quickly, y'all. Prescott JB stated Nick Saban took all of the starters McLaren sports cars and will not give them back until they make the college football playoff. Then he additionally took all their debit cards off too. He cut off the debit cards, and so
Not the debit cards.
right. He also stated Case Keenum is a glorified assistant principal with a decent spiral. He works as a plumber on the weekends to stay in shape.
Dang.
Not a plumber.
So Case Keenum, is he the backup for Buffalo?
Yes.
I figured.
Hey,
All right.
I mean, if he plays, he might, Vikings his former team, maybe he might start collecting receipts tomorrow. Who knows?
Exactly, might be motivated. Yeah, this is true. Yeah. And CC Area stated, let's go Bears. Hashtag bear down. Let's get it. And so yes, she is a very excited Bears fan. And so, yes, all right, y'all. Jacksonville at Kansas City. Is this a dangerous game for Kansas City tomorrow? Who you got, Jamar?
Hey man, your nephew said it right. Team you don't bet against, right? We've been making a lot of money off this team the last 3-4 years, man. Jacksonville is not there yet. This is next year, be a different story because I think Calvin Ridley is that big of a difference maker. But until then, it's Kansas City on this one for sure.
Yeah. And who you got, bro?
Kansas City in the blowout.
Dang.
Teron, who you got?
I do think it is going to be a closer game. I think Jacksonville isn't going to just fall over and let the Chiefs run over them, but I do think the Chiefs will win.
Yeah. I got the Chiefs as well in this one, guys. Cleveland at Miami. Who you got for this one, guys? Jamar, who you got?
Yeah, two are starting, right? I'm pretty sure he's starting. So I'm pretty sure he's undefeated as a starter this year. Yeah, I got the Dolphins.
And who you got, bro?
Hands up. I got Miami.
Ron, who you got?
Got the Dolphins.
I'm going to roll with y'all. I'm roll with the Dolphins as well. I do think Cleveland presents them some problems, y'all, with their running game. And they slow this game down intentionally with them great backs so they can keep Miami's great offense off the field. So I think this is a close game. And Miami's defense hasn't been performing that great. Just a lot of great offense. But I do think Miami gets it done. So I'm going to go with Miami. Houston at the Giants. Who you got, Jamar?
Got the Giants, but this game might be, closer than what the records show. Houston, just for whatever reason, they just, hang around a lot of times in games. But I got the G-Man.
And
I agree with Jamar. It might be closer than I expect, but I got the Giants. Saquon should have a big day.
I think this game is going to be like a really quick game. I think it's going to be the battle of the run games. But Dameon Pierce, and then you got Saquon, and then you got forgot the Bears. What's the Giants quarterback name?
Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones.
Danny Dimes.
He's also pretty good as a scrambler. So I think this game is going to go pretty quick, but I think the Giants do have a better defense. So I think the Giants will win.
Beautiful analysis. Everything you say, I totally agree with. And from a football game perspective, me and Ian and Jamar could say that wholly with you, that both of these teams love to run the football. They love Dameon Pierce and Jamar. I like him too now that I've been seeing him lately. He runs hard.
That's good.
He runs physical. He's good, and he likes contact. And the Giants love to run the ball too. And how the Giants have been winning games to run, you are right, man. They run the ball with Saquon, and they run the ball with Daniel Jones. They love to get him on scrambles. Love it. And so I like the fact that you stated that could be a fast football game. That is very true, man, because they love to run the ball. But I'm with y'all. I'm going to roll with the Giants as well in this one. I think the Giants are the better team. New Orleans, Pittsburgh. Who you got for this one, Jamar?
Boy. Man, do I take a rusty rifle or do I take a pick machine? Man, jeez, I guess I'm taking a rusty rifle to a gunfight. I guess it's more so. I think Kamara is going to have a good game here. I feel like the team that turns the ball over the least is going to win the game, and I can see the Saints being that team. So I'm taking the Saints.
Ian, who you got, bro?
Tough one, but I'm gonna go Saints. Hopefully Alvin Kamara has a big day for those guys. So I'm gonna go Saints.
Teron, who you got?
Ooh, I'm just gonna flip a coin. I'll say Saints. They are getting Jarvis Landry back, so I think the offense will be slightly better. But then again, Pittsburgh defense is getting better because they're getting what's his name?
JJ?
Yeah, they're getting T.J. Watt back, so maybe he'll be able to contribute more. But I think the Steelers' offense is just not. It's just horrible right now. So I think the Saints will win.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Sorry, not JJ, but TJ. And so, like, yeah, the Saints, man, they are a disappointment for me, y'all. I had high expectations for this team. They got a lot of good ball players. Now, don't get me wrong, their receivers have not played. And they've been out a lot lately. Jarvis Landry and Michael Thomas is out for the season. You know, they leaving the rookie out on the field. He can play though, Chris Olave. And so Pittsburgh, I just don't know what to expect from this team. And they've looking like they want to lose or something. Like they just don't look motivated out there. I got New Orleans in this one. Denver, 3-5, y'all. Right now they are another disappointment. Do they turn it around, y'all, against the Titans? Jamar, who you got?
Quick pick, Titans.
Yep. That was real quick. Ian, who you got, bro?
I'm gonna go Broncos country. Let's ride. I'm gonna go with the Broncos.
Okay. And Teron, who you got?
This game is probably going to be horrible. Like just like the Colts and Broncos, where it was like a low scoring, slow. Like both of these teams have great defenses. Like the Titans slowed down the Chiefs for a while, and then the Broncos. I don't know. I'll say the Titans. I think the Titans to win.
This is tough for me, Jamar. You know why, bro? Because it's Ryan Tannehill playing tomorrow because Malik Willis looks terrible. Like when he plays Malik Willis, like he is just abysmal out there. And Derrick Henry literally is like holding the fort down for this team. And so the way it looks for me is Russell Wilson is playing tomorrow, right, y'all? And so if Russell Wilson is playing, I'm going to go with the Broncos for this one if Malik Willis is playing. Now, if Ryan Tannehill was playing, I'll go with the Titans. But, you know, I still think Denver has some explosion on that offense. You know, they got some playmakers. So that might be my upset pick, y'all. I'm going to go with the Broncos for that one. Jamar, Indianapolis and Las Vegas. Who you got for this one, bro?
Boy, oh boy. We got one team that can't get right and the other one that just fell completely off the wagon. I would expect the Raiders to win this game, especially since Shaq Leonard went on IR and I think his season might be done. Right. Sam Ehlinger is not that guy. I mean, maybe Derek Carr isn't either, but nevertheless, I'm taking the Raiders. I feel halfway confident about that one. And then really quick, what was y'all picks for the other one?
For
the Broncos Titans.
I got Denver. Ian got Denver. Teron got Tennessee.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah. So, Ian, who you got for Indy and Las Vegas?
Las Vegas. There should be a stat pattern game for the Raiders. It should be, but we'll see how that goes.
Right. How would that look? Yeah, I'm just curious, Teron, Annie, Jamar. How would that look if Jeff Saturday beats Josh McDaniels on his coming straight from ESPN?
Never
And he
coach.
beats,
Game never
never
beat.
coached, and he beats Las Vegas. This is the reason why the question was asked. Because imagine if that was to happen, Jamar. How would you like? Oh my God!
Yeah.
If,
Yes.
if, if, if,
Tomorrow.
yeah,
Monday.
like if I'm the front office and I see that happen. But anyhow, Teron, who you got for this one, bro? Can you hear me, Teron? Annie, Jamar, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. I'll say the Raiders.
Okay, you got the Raiders for this one?
Yeah.
Gotcha. For me, I'm gonna go with the Raiders as well. Everything points to the Raiders. But I tell y'all what, man, if Josh McDaniels loses to Jeff Saturday tomorrow, boy, Monday will be very interesting. All right, y'all. Dallas and Green Bay. Who you got for this one, Jamar?
Boy, if the Cowboys don't wax those Packers real quick, and I especially feel a lot better if Ezekiel Elliott doesn't play. Hashtag free Tony Pollard.
So yes, it sounds like in this case you got Dallas. Ian, who you got for this one, bro?
I'm gonna go Packers from the upset.
What the?
Ooh. Okay. All right. Well, I tell you what, Packers might be motivated, right? I mean, Mike McCarthy's coming back to Green Bay, right? You know, they gonna be waiting for him, you know, and Aaron Rodgers could be motivated tomorrow. This is a very interesting game. Okay. Teron, who you got for this one? Dallas or Green Bay?
Well, the Packers are dealing with a bunch of injuries on offense and some on defense. Like some of their receivers are out. I just don't see how they can outscore Dallas. Like I said before, Dallas has like top 5 defense. Their offense looked good against the Bears. But like, of course, that's not holding. Like, of course, now that we see what the Bears defense is, it's not saying too much. But yeah, I don't see how the Packers can outscore Dallas.
Yeah, I'm with y'all. You know, it's very rare that I pick the Whackers, especially when they're down. So no, I am not picking the Whackers. I got Dallas in this one.
At least you got some sense, unlike somebody on this panel. I'm so disappointed.
We'll see, man, how this one go. But I got Dallas. Y'all, Arizona 3-6 at the Rams 3-5. So Jamar, who you got for this one?
Oh man, do we really got to pick a winner of this game? Picking the Rams. I don't feel good about it. If I was to pick the Cardinals, I really wouldn't feel good about it either. But I'm like, I guess the Rams. I guess they still got playmakers on that defense. They don't seem like it sometimes, but I guess they're there. So I got the Rams. Got the Rams.
Yeah, who you got, bro?
I'm gonna go Rams. I'm gonna go Rams.
Okay.
Teron, who you got?
I got the Rams. I saw like a little sideline argument between D Hop and Kyler Murray. They're not on like the best terms right now, and then like their play calling is just not good at all. And I think Jalen Ramsey can like lock up D Hop, and D Hop is basically their entire offense. So I think Rams.
Yep. I like the Rams in this one tomorrow as well. Man, just to think with all that talent, Arizona, they fighting for their season right now. They could be very well 3-7. And if the Rams lose y'all tomorrow, all that talent they got, all the expectations, all the money they spent, all them contracts, they could be 3-6. Wow. All right. The Chargers, y'all. 5-3. going up against the 49ers, who made a big trade, and they looked really good the last time they played. We have not really saw this team lately, but they are back tomorrow. And so just curious, Shamar, who you got for this one, the Chargers or the 49ers?
I really need Debo's theme music right now because he's returning. I really need that theme music right now. So look, we know that the 49ers on paper is exceptional. And we know that once they get rolling, they get rolling. I'm not a believer of the Chargers. Not right now. I'm taking the 49ers. I think they win convincingly.
Ian, who you got for this one?
I'm gonna go Chargers. I think Chargers should get this one done this week.
And Teron, who you got?
I got the 49ers. They're getting a bunch of their injured players back, so their offense is going to be even better. Christian McCaffrey already adds a lot, and their defense is still pretty good. And the Chargers they don't look consistent, so I got the 49ers.
Right. The Chargers do not look consistent. I'm gonna go with the 49ers as well in this one because I went on a very let's say a rant about the 49ers and their talent. And it's not a rant, not a bad rant, but a good rant, stating that this team could be very dangerous. They are loaded. And so the Chargers, just not consistent enough. They are so volatile, especially the play of Justin Herbert. But imagine this, y'all. Imagine if San Francisco goes 4-5 tomorrow. Do people still believe in the 49ers like that as a really serious team if they lose and they're 4-5? Just something to think about. Shamar, go ahead. Somebody's gonna say something?
No, go ahead.
Yep. So Jamar, for our final pick, bro, who you got tomorrow? Washington or Philly?
Hashtag go. Was it Go Eagles Go? Is that their hashtag? Or Fly Eagles Fly?
Fly Eagles Fly.
Yeah, Fly Eagles Fly.
Simple as that.
Yep. And what about yourself, bro?
Eagles blowout.
Yeah. Teron?
I got the Eagles in like a 2-score game.
And for me as well, y'all, Fly Eagles Fly. So, world, that concludes our NFL picks for this morning. We thank you all for tuning in with us. And so, that also concludes our podcast for this morning, fellas. As we head into the weekend, Jamar, Ian, and Teron, we always do final thoughts and shout outs. And so, Jamar, as we head into the weekend, bro, any final thoughts or shout outs as we head into the weekend?
I guess the only thing I want to mention, our finals MVP from last year, he is balling out right now. As we know, the Warriors had a slow start to the year, but I mean, this dude, number 30, it's like every time I watch him this past week, I'm just sitting here like, bro, like,
different.
Like, we've had these discussions about top 10 and stuff, like just all-time greatness is phenomenal. Man dropped 40 yesterday. Matter of fact, what really took me over the edge was when I saw a picture this morning. They was down 3 with it was 95-98. It was down 3. It was like a minute and maybe like 10 left. He shoots a 3. He did his classic with where he's looking off in that high pivotal moment. You looking off and when the ball's going in. I'm like, come on, bro. Come on. So yeah, he is, man. So I just want to give him, just early NBA shout out because he's still doing his thing. It's insane.
Right. He's had 9 30-point games this season and is single-handedly carrying the Warriors, who are 5-7, pretty much by himself. And the Warriors are looking like they're in the championship hangover, but Steph Curry and they don't hangover at all. For real. Yeah. Ian, any final thoughts or shout outs, bro?
Shout out to my boy Justin Fields. Justin Fields been getting a lot of love. He's been getting a lot of love this week. That's why I hope they don't come out and just give us a dud tomorrow. Oh my God, I'm on screen. But I don't think I've ever seen ESPN, Fox Sport News, everybody has been talking about the Bears all week. Now Justin Fields is the best quarterback out of the 2021 class. I've been knew that. You know, everybody that's watched Justin Fields over the last 3-4 years have known that. But you know how the media does. So shout out to Justin Fields. Hope he keeps it up. Looks like we finally got a franchise quarterback. Hopefully he stays healthy. I know Morgan Park plays today. They played Nazareth Academy at 1. So shout out to them. Hopefully they get the job done. Keep it going on the way to state. And hopefully these Bulls get it together. And that's about it.
Yeah. This is big, Jamar. So, and Teron, Morgan Park High School in football is in the state quarterfinals. It's third round. They haven't done that since me and Ian's team in 2007. And if they win, they would go to the state semifinals, which would be the first time reaching that since 2005, which is the game before the state championship. And so, good luck to the Mustangs today. Big one today against Nazareth. Teron, any final thoughts or shout outs, nephew, as we head into the weekend?
I would say shout out Luke Getsy. The Bears, like the offensive coordinator, like at first he started out really slow. I think he was just nervous and he was really getting warmed up because he was calling like some weird plays and he really didn't use Justin Fields' like strengths. He really didn't give him these design runs and these play actions. But now as you see, like we have one of the best running games. Justin Fields is tearing it up. He's able to get comfortable and do the things he's designed to do. So I think he really fit this offense to like fit Justin Fields. And while Justin Fields is like a great player, we've seen that like without the plays, he can't really do anything. So I think Luke Getsy deserves some love too.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. Yep. I commend all of you guys. Special shout outs. Just want to say for final thoughts, guys. Everybody stay safe. Enjoy the weekend. Keep God first. And also want to keep you guys posted the next Saturday morning. It will not be a normal sports podcast. It would actually be soccer related. And so, Ian, Jamar, we'll talk about that. We'll have Frank Noxies on. We'll have Philip from France on. I'm trying to get another guy from the UK on. And we're going to talk World Cup soccer, which is happening in Qatar. And it's coming up next week. And so we thank you all for chopping it up with us this morning on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast. We appreciate you all for following us and for being with us on the page and supporting us. And so you guys have a blessed and safe weekend. We thank you all again for tuning in with us. Be great. Peace.
Peace.